What's going on? Welcome back to the Triple P Network, People, Politics, and Paranormal. Today, I'm going to talk paranormal. As you can see, I'm on vacation in Hawaii, or as the locals call it, Hawaii. And something very interesting happened to me last night. Okay, so after a heavy night of drinking and hanging out, right, I went back to my hotel room to recuperate, and it had one of my favorite television shows, Ancient Aliens, on. And this is like one of the latest episodes, right? You're never gonna believe what they talked about. The Great Pyramid of Giza, right, in Egypt. Underneath it, archaeologists have discovered and scientists have discovered that there is actually a shaft, the same perimeter of the base of the pyramid that goes down 2,000 feet underneath the ground. And there's a massive building or structure at the bottom of this shaft that's connected to the pyramid by these large cylindrical columns. And so far they've been able to discover through radiography or x-ray that each one of these columns has like some kind of spiral shape going down to the base structure. Our scientists so far, they don't know how the ancient Egyptians built this. First of all, they don't really know how they built the Great Pyramid of Giza in the first place. But now that they've discovered that there's this large underground structure, they have no clue how the ancient Egyptians were able to build this, right? And that's why it comes in with the ancient alien theory that, highly evolved, highly technological humanoids came to this planet thousands of years ago, and actually they're the ones who actually built the pyramids or actually showed human beings that were living on the earth at the time how to do it. Now, the interesting thing that they discovered about this shaft is that if you look at the whole structure, including the pyramid and the base at the bottom of the 2,000 foot deep shaft, it actually appears to be something similar to like an upside down Tesla coil. Now, many of you know what a Tesla coil does. It supercharges electrostatic particles, and also, people know that before Tesla died, he was working on something called the Warnicliffe Tower, Warnicliffe Tower. That tower, Tesla's plan was to build all these towers across the world, and then he would basically invent wireless electricity. Similar to what we have now, we have wireless communication, wireless radio transmission. Tesla wanted to build these huge towers across the planet, supercharge our ionosphere through static electricity of some sort. And basically, Tesla's idea was, so you had a ship, a car, or even a building with an antenna on it. All you had to do was make sure your antenna was tuned to the proper frequency. You could tap into that wireless electricity and power whatever vehicle, including a ship, through your antenna. Power your vehicle with electricity, with wireless electricity. Is it possible that the ancient Egyptians already knew about all this technology that Tesla was working on and already had created an underground Tesla coil? Now, I'm thinking to myself, as deep as this shaft goes and as large as the pyramid is, and what the pyramid is actually constructed of like granite and crystal and other minerals and materials that can be charged electrically, like gold. Is it possible that the Great Pyramid of Giza was like this large energy transmitter? Because archaeologists have discovered, or they know that at one time, thousands of years ago, the Great Pyramid of Giza was actually gold-plated. The whole surface of the outside of the pyramid was plated in gold. And we all know that gold is a really good conductor of electricity. So now that they've discovered that there's a shaft underneath the pyramid connected to the pyramid that's 2,000 feet deep, is it out of the realm of possibility that the ancient Egyptians or whoever built that was actually using it as a large energy transmitter? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking the first thing I thought, energy weapon, right? But Why do we always have to go to weapons? Why can't we just think about transmitting energy? And I know else what you're probably thinking about. Something this large, you're not just transmitting energy into the atmosphere. You're trying to transmit energy into outer space. Is it possible that, at the very least, the ancient Egyptians developed a way to transmit energy, possibly even faster than the speed of light, to other planets, other galaxies, other solar systems? You know? Or it is possible that they developed this as a weapon. That is true. But my gut doesn't tell me that. My gut tells me that it was either used to transmit communication or transmit energy for a good purpose. That's my gut. That's, and when you combine that with this book that my older brother Jay is having me read. Now, this book called The Emerald Tablets of Thoth by Billy Carson. This ain't an old book. This guy right here, Billy Carson, he wrote this book last year. Yeah, so combined with this book and what the latest Ancient Aliens episode that just came out, this stuff is blowing my mind, man. I'm only in the 3rd chapter and they're already talking about energy, the Earth having energy portals and being an energy portal itself. Now, let's back up a little bit, because I know what you're thinking. It's kind of just fantasy, right? Actually, it isn't. Everybody knows that the Earth, because of its magnetic dynamic core, iron core, that's rotating and spinning fast in the center of our Earth, that creates a magnetic field, right? That's why we have protection from solar radiation, because of this magnetic field that's generated at the center of our Earth. That's why we have volcanoes, like the one on the other island that I'm at in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have earthquakes and stuff like that, and the Earth's crust is constantly moving, because not only does the Earth create its own magnetic field, it also creates torsion because it's constantly spinning. So torsion and electromagnetic fields and electromagnetic energy combined, what do? At certain cross points, just like on the sun, when on the surface of the sun, you have like these solar storms where the magnetic bands of electromagnetism like cross together. They actually create points of energy. So is it out of the realm of possibility that the ancient Egyptians understood this and knew that there are actual portals and cross bands of electromagnetic energy that can create portals? And if you don't believe me, read a book about the Bermuda Triangle. And guess what? I'm only in the 3rd chapter of this book, and this book is already saying that there's a massive underground pyramid, I think something around the size of the pyramids in Egypt, underneath the water in the Bermuda Triangle. Is it possible that that's where Atlantis was? Is it possible that they was using the same energy, fields of energy that the Egyptians were? And tell that to all the ships and all the planes that have disappeared over the years in Bermuda Triangle. Is it possible that this is one of those spots on the Earth that actually has a portal, because electromagnetic energy cross points intersect in such a way that you can actually open a portal to another dimension, as long as you got the right frequency and all that. So yeah, I'm in the middle of my vacation, but I had to make this post, you know what I'm saying, because this is, it's paranormal. Some people think it's fantastic or fantasy, but you start putting these two pieces together with that show that I watched last night and this book that I'm reading in my spare time on my vacation, and this stuff is mind-blowing, man. And I know what you're thinking. You know what? Like, this don't really matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like you. I'm an average guy. I'm an average girl. I'm just going to work every day. You know what I'm saying? Following the rules. There's nothing I can do about this. Actually, yes, there is. You can do what I'm doing right now. Talking about it. Let's just talk about it, right? You know what I'm saying? If we're too afraid to talk about it, we're never going to get down to the bottom of what's really going on. Because I tell you, somebody out there knows what's going on. All right? The banks and the corporations that own this planet, yes, they own the planet because they own the governments, they own the politicians, which run society. The banks and the corporations, trust me, they know, or at least the owners of them know, And I'm not necessarily saying that they're trying to keep all the information secret, but why would they give us that information if we don't know how to handle it? And how are we going to learn how to handle it if we don't at least start talking about it? Yes, it is important. I know you don't think it's important to you, but it is important. Why? Because it's there. So, until the next time, stay up.